Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. I'm Giovanni. We are live now. Um, for anyone who is in the chat right now or watching live, like always, can you guys let me know if there's any issues with the audio, any issues with the picture? And I'm actually kind of noticing a bit of a lag already in the video. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can try to fix it a bit. Hold on. Let me see if that fixed it a bit. Is it still kind of laggy? Okay, so we have a future DCEU warrior, a life. It says, hi, I can see you. Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, so it just looked like it was a little like laggy. All right, so again, everyone, this is my new episode here. Excuse me. So this is the latest episode of the Met Report. It's a show about movies, entertainment, television, news, and there's actually a lot of stuff that I want to talk about here today. It's a very DC dominated episode today because there's a lot of DC stuff that has come out. One of the things is that I am going to actually doing a non-spoiler review of The Flash. Hold on a second here. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I needed to cough like really, really bad. I have no idea why this started to do that right now, right before I started the stream. So again, everyone, this is the Met Report, movies, entertainment, and television news. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very DC-dominated episode here today because I am doing a non-spoiler review of The Flash. So I did watch The Flash a few days ago, so I'll give you guys my non-spoiler review of that. There will be no spoilers there, so I will definitely keep away from that. And I'm also doing a segment about The Flash. So the hot toys. So they just announced a hot toy of the Flash from the movie. It's called the Special Edition, and they had released the two Batman characters from the film before they released this, or at least announced this. There was some issues, with Ezra Miller and so forth. So there was a lot of question whether they were even going to make one, but they did, and they did announce one. So I'll talk about that in just a moment here. There's also some claims about a potential casting or a potential character being part of the new Batman movie, the Matt Reeves movie. So it looks like there's some claims that Harvey Dent, Two-Face, will be in this. And so we'll talk about that in just a bit here as to who are the two actors who are possibly running for this role. We have future DC a Warrior Life writes here, I wonder if all these screenings for The Flash are the full movie. Cause director claimed the full version of the movie will be seen on the 15th. So I'm a bit confused here. Okay, so... Oh, okay, so yeah, that's kind of the thing about that because I'm actually going to mention that a little bit because there's some stuff in the movie, the Flash advanced screening that I saw. There's some things that I think were not completed. So, I mean, I'll talk about that in a bit here when I get to the non-spoiler section. And then also, I'm still doing the first giveaway, the Funko giveaway, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales. So this giveaway is still open, and just follow the instructions there. There will be a new Funko giveaway at the end of this video here. So I'll give you guys more details about it later. I will announce a new one, and it will be DC related. So you guys are aware of that. Let me see. So yeah, so there's just a couple things here that I'll be talking about. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel for future content, future giveaways, and then hit the bell button so that you're notified when I actually post a new episodes. So I'll be doing this alone. So Matthew will not be joining me today. Now Matthew will be gone for a couple of months. He's doing like a band a concert type of thing that he's going to a few states across the United States. So he'll be gone for a couple months or so, and then I'm sure he'll be back like sometime in August probably. So that's so that's just so you guys know about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the first thing that I wanted to talk about here today. And let me just get the little image here. Okay, I don't know why I went there. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that there is a claim about this. So we have this report or this claim, and this one comes from Collider. So, the Batman movie came out last year in March of 2022, and there's been a lot of talk about, will there be a sequel? Is it part of the a new type, its own thing? Is it going to be part of the James Gunn universe whenever they announce, or at least get some kind of more connections to everything else? So it was announced before that they are making a Batman 2. Matt Reeves mentioned that he is working on the script and on the movie. So obviously it's gonna happen, unless there's something drastically that happens, then they probably won't. But it did make more than enough money to warrant another movie, and critically was received well. I really liked the movie. It was my top film of 2022. But then again, I'm also a big Batman fan. But I did really like the movie, and I think a lot of people did like it. But overall, the Batman 2 is coming. So there is a claim here, and this is from Collider. So I'm going to read a little piece here. It says, in a neat piece of symmetry, it looks like the casting of the Dark Knight's next adversary is coming down to the toss of a coin. Okay, a lot of puns in there. Insider John Roca revealed that casting has come down to a final pair of prospective stars to take on the role of Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, in The Batman Part 2, while chatting on the Hot Mic podcast with Jeff Snyder. We have here, it is looking at the duo of Josh Hartnett as one of the potential actors to portray the character here. So I'm looking for an image here. So we have Josh Hartnett. So Josh Hartnett, the first time I ever saw him in anything was on Halloween H2O. So he was Laurie Strode's son. Now this was one type of universe when it comes to Halloween, because you know how there's like different versions of Halloween or continuities, timelines or whatever. So in this one, Laurie Strode has a son, and Josh Hartnett is playing him. So that's the first time I saw him. And then I saw him in a bunch of other 90s movies, late 90s movies, like The Faculty, and excuse me. And then later on, he did movies like 30 Days of Night, I think it's called, and then Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was early 2000s, and Michael Bay, and that movie wasn't received all that well. But yeah. So Josh Hartnett, and then for a long time he was gone for a while. We didn't see anything with him. I haven't seen him in any movies or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, like in the last few years or so, maybe like 2 years, like maybe during the pandemic and on, I've been seeing him in more projects. I know he did this show back in, I don't know exactly when it was, like 2014, 2015. He did a show in Showtime. I forgot the name of the show. But he was in that. But he hasn't been in a lot of projects for a while. So there's this talk that he might, be Harvey Dent. So that's one of them. The other one is Joe Edgerton, as you can see here, possibly playing Harvey Dent, Two-Face. Now, a lot of Star Wars fans know him to be Uncle Owen. He's been in other movies too. He was in, I think it was in The Green Knight that came out a couple years ago. And he was in a movie about UFC with Tom Hardy. So he was in that movie. And he directed a movie, I think it was called The Gift, which I remember watching it, and it was all right. It wasn't too bad. It was his directorial debut, and it starred Jason Bateman. So that's Joe Edgerton, a possible Harvey Dent Two-Face. Now, this report here is not official, but there's just a lot of claims about this, that Harvey Dent will be in this film. Now, a lot of Batman DC fans know that Harvey Dent is an antagonist. ultimately ends up being an antagonist. But at first, he's a little friendly when it comes to, you know, trying to clean up Gotham, just like a Batman, but for a different way, as we've all seen in The Dark Knight. Aaron Eckhart played him, and the more cartoony version of it with Tommy Lee Jones playing him in Batman Forever. So that's a different type of character there. That was like almost Joker-ish, which I still like, by the way. But Harvey Dent's a pretty cool character. I'm glad that they're thinking of bringing him in here. So when it comes to these two, though, if it is between these two, Josh Hartnett, Joel Edgerton, I think I would probably pick Joel Edgerton. I just think Joel Edgerton has more of the, as far as the acting chops, I do think he's a little better when it comes to Josh Hartnett, just a little bit more, and the look. So I think he'll be able to play the character more. I think he'll be more menacing than Josh Hartnett. I don't think I've ever seen a role of Josh Hartnett that where he's like very menacing in any movies. At least I haven't seen it. But with him, I've seen characters where he could be. And so that's why I would pick him if it's between those two. But again, this is not something official, but that's just what we have going on there. Okay, so that was just the first segment here regarding that report for the Batman Part 2. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts on these two actors to portray Harvey Dent's Two-Face? Do you agree with me about that I would pick Joel Edgerton, or would you pick Josh Hartnett? Maybe you do. I don't know. Let me know. Okay, so that was it for that. Now, the next segment here is the Hot Toy segment. Now, the last like month or so, I did add a segment which is called Figures Talk, which is talking about hot toys mainly. Although in the future, it could be other stuff like statues or maybe what is the name of the other place called? I can't even remember the name of the other manufacturer. So there's other manufacturers that make these collectibles, these figures that look really, really good. I mainly focus on hot toys because that's what I'm into right now. So that's why I like to talk about this, because it's all related and connected to movies or TV, or there's characters that we like, you know, overall. Not necessarily this image that you see right now, The Flash, which we'll talk about right now. So we have The Flash, Ezra Miller's The Flash, that was announced a couple days ago. Now, I mentioned earlier that when it comes to the Flash film and the Hot Toys, they announced the first two Batmen, I should say. Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck. Or quote-unquote Ben Affleck, because there's issues with that, which I talked about last week. So they announced this one. So this is the main character. This is the Flash, Ezra Miller, and they announced him third. Or they announced them third. So there's a lot of issues with Ezra Miller, you know, personal life and so forth. So I'm not really going to get into that, because this is not this type of show that I want to be talking about here. Yeah, Ezra Miller definitely has some personal problems going on. So, and he may not even be the Flash moving forward. Who knows? I don't know if Warner Brothers is going to want to continue keeping him there. But as far as the hot toys, as far as the figure, this looks pretty good. Now, you can see the head sculpt. The likeness of Ezra Miller is pretty good. I do like it. It looks realistic. It really does look like him, right? Or like them. So here's a close-up. Ezra Miller as the Flash in the film. This is called the special edition because it comes with like a little ring or something. So I'll show you guys in a bit here. There's another image. The Flash, Ezra Miller. And here's another image here. And this Figures Talk. Now I'm going to go into this main one here. You can see all of it. You can see the little base. And I believe his chest lights up. So let me just read you the details about this particular figure. So let's see here. So we have the authentic and detailed likeness of Ezra Miller as the Flash in the Flash film, which I mentioned a little earlier. Only one newly developed Barry Allen head sculpt with separate rolling eyeball system. One newly developed cowled head with separate rolling eyeball systems, and 3 interchangeable lower faces capturing different facial expressions. Golden yellow luminous reflective patterns specially applied on cowled head. Movie accurate facial expression and skin texture, approximately 30.5 centimeters tall. Newly developed body with 30 points of articulation. 8 interchangeable gloved hands, including 1 pair of fists, 1 pair of open hands, 2 pairs of running gesture hands, 2 interchangeable hands, including 1 pair of gesture hands. Each head sculpt is especially hand painted. As far as the costume, 1 metallic red colored The Flash suit with golden yellow luminous reflective patterns and LED lighted emblem on chest, power operated. 1 pair of red and gold colored boots. The accessories come with this: 4 lightning effects for arms and legs. So I don't know if you guys like this or not. I think a lot of people don't like this. I think it looks alright. It's not too bad. 1 lightning effect for breaking pose, adjustable. 1 pair or 1 attachable open helmet accessory, wearable on figure. 1 interchangeable The Flash helmet with translucent orange colored goggles, specially designed themed figure stand with the Flash logo and LED light up function, yellow light, power operated. This is what the Batmans have too. They have this base which lights up. The Keaton one has it, and the Ben Affleck one has it. I'm afraid of, I'm tired of saying quote unquote Ben Affleck because the figure doesn't really look that much like Ben Affleck. But when I say Ben Affleck, that's what I mean, the Flash Batman figure. Okay, so now let's get to the price. So if you guys actually were interested in the Flash, if you like the character, you think this looks good to you, you want that ring that you see there, the special edition little ring there, it'll cost you $290. So this is from Sideshow. So I usually get my stuff from Sideshow. I know you can get it through other places, but this cost is from Sideshow. Expected to ship July to December 2024, and this is a 1/6 scale figure, like most of them. The ones that I have are 1/6. I know they sell 1/4 scale, which are pretty big, and they're just too they just use up too much space with the other characters. So $290, expect to ship July to December 2024. So let me know, guys, if you're interested in this. Would you buy this? This Ezra Miller Flash figure from the Flash film? Let me know in the comments there. And for the individuals, for the people that are watching live right now, I do see a few viewers there. If you want to be part of the giveaway that I'm going to announce a little later, because I did mention if you watch live that your name will be added twice, assuming that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and you have a mailing address within the United States. But let me know that you are live, because I can only see if you comment or add a chat. I'm sorry, add a message in the chat. So let me know if that's what you're doing, so that I know that you're doing that. All right, so that was it for the Flash. So there's some other ones that they've announced, which is this one right here. Now this one, what I'm about to show you right now, it's another DC character. And this is the Christian Bale Dark Knight, but it's blue and gray. So this is a Hot Toys exclusive figure. And they announced it a couple days ago, and it was, you had to order it, or RSVP for it, and you had to order it. And I think it sold out fairly quickly. They announced it, or they had you, they put it for pre-order yesterday, and it didn't last that long. So this is like a DC exclusive 100-year Warner Brothers edition type of thing. So this is what they released here. Here's another image, and it does come with like some bats and so forth in there. As far as the figure itself, I'm a huge Batman fan. So once I did a video on my YouTube channel where I ranked all my favorite movie TV characters top 10 list, and spoiler alert, Batman was number 1. So I'm a big Batman fan. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Christian Bale's Batman, so he wouldn't be my number 1 spot. And then I also did a video about ranking all the Batman actors and so forth. So we have that. Now this one is blue and gray. Now we've seen this look. Obviously, the traditional Batman has this look. The Adam West has this blue and gray. Now, the cape is, as you can see, is black, so it's not blue. This looks kind of odd to me. This, at least for this suit, this Christian Bale Dark Knight suit, it doesn't look that good to me. It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of odd. So I will not be getting this. But even so, it's on waitlist now. So even if you wanted it now, you would have to try to join the waitlist because this sold out fairly quickly. They didn't make that many. Just like this one right here, Wonder Woman, Hot Toys exclusive. Now this one, Sideshow mentioned, or Hot Toys mentioned, that they only made 1,500 of them, and I believe Sideshow was only going to get 300 of them. So you had to again join the list, the RSVP email list, and then you'll be notified if you wanted this figure. And they said it will be announced, or it will be available for pre-order as of June 9th. I think it was like at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So if you wanted it, you had to do it this way. And this one's already sold out. So this Wonder Woman is already gone, but it did come with all this. It looks a little different than the Wonder Woman 1984, and I believe the Justice League one too. It looks different. And it comes with the shield and the sword. And this is going to be a very exclusive one. That was kind of the reason why I kind of was thinking of getting it, because it was very exclusive. And maybe I could sell it later on, but because there's not that many that are going to be available. So here's some little details about this one here. So we have the Wonder Woman 6-scale figure features authentic and detailed likeness of Wonder Woman in the comics. Now, I don't think she looks a little bit like Gal Gadot. Not too much. But it's not too bad, though. I do think it looks really good. And I like that it has the shield and the sword and all that stuff. So that looks pretty badass. One newly painted head sculpt with detachable tiara headband. Long, curly, dark brown hair implantation wool material. Now, that's something that's a little different when it comes to Hot Toys, because they usually don't add this. So that was kind of a selling point for some people, because this one actually has this... hair implantation. Like the other ones, the other Wonder Woman Hot Toys, it's sculpted hair. So that's the majority of them. So this was something a little different, and that might be the reason why some of them wanted this, as on top of it being very exclusive and only being like 1,500 worldwide. It also says here, body with over 17 points of articulations with a silicone material made body, enhanced articulations on waist which allow flexible movement. Approximately 29 centimeters tall. 6 pieces of interchangeable hands, including 1 pair of fists, 1 sword holding right hand, 1 relaxed right hand, 1 shield holding left hand, 1 left hand for holding lasso of truth. So it comes with that too, which I don't even know if the other ones had that or not. Each head sculpt is specially hand painted. Available in a limited quantity of 1,500 units in selected markets. And I think Sideshow, they only had about 300. This sold out within, I think, less than 15 minutes. Because I went onto the site just to look at it. I was curious to see, is this going to sell or not? And by the time I got there, I got the email. I clicked the link. It already said, join the waitlist. And the price for these two, the Bale Batman with the blue-gray and this Wonder Woman, this one was $290 if you were actually going to be able to get it. And then this one is $400. So this one was quite more. So that was it for these two. Now, they also had this DC Showcase Hot Toy that they announced earlier this week. So they were just kind of showing a lot of DC Hot Toys and figures and vehicles from the past, or that are still available for pre-order, or future ones. So like they had this one here. This is all the Batman suits from the Flash. Now this is something that they've teased. This has actually not been officially announced for you to pre-order. We have a message here from Future DC Warrior Life. Says, I'm live. I would like to enter for the contest. Is it for Wonder Woman? No. I haven't announced that yet. That'll be towards the end. So, I see your name on here, so I know that you're watching this live, so you don't have to, address it any further at this point. I saw that you were there. Okay, so yeah, it's not Wonder Woman. So we have this armor suit. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with this one. I don't know if they're going to sell these figures like this without The character, I'm not sure about that. Or they're just gonna sell them like this. Maybe you can get the Michael Keaton hot toy and then have these suits, kind of like an armory type of thing in the background. I don't know if that's the way they're gonna sell it, or they're gonna sell them individually with Michael Keaton in them, or are they going to not sell them at all? And it was just a tease, just like, you know, this is what we can make, but we're actually not gonna sell it to you. That is a possibility because I know Hot Toys has done that before. So they showed that, and again they showed this right here. So this is the Ben Affleck hot toy, the Flash. After watching the movie, after seeing the movie, I'm actually tempted on getting this, even though the likeness of Ben Affleck is not really there. I like the suit. I like the figure. I like the Bat Cycle. The scene in the Flash with Ben Affleck Batman and the Bat Cycle was pretty awesome, which I'll talk about that in just a bit in my non-spoiler review of the movie. So they presented this. Let's see. So, here's another thing that may or may not be sold, but I think a lot of people would want this. So this is the Batwing. There's a Hot Toy Batwing. Now this is 1/12 scale. So I think if they do sell this, maybe it'll just be for decor or something, like to have in the back, because obviously you're not gonna fit a 1/6 scale Keaton into this. They haven't officially announced this. They may not even sell it. Just like this, they may not even sell it, and they're just showing you like, look, we made this, and there you go. So 1/12. I don't know if they're just gonna make a bigger one later. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Now the next one here this is something that they presented and showed again. This was announced, or this was presented or teased over a year ago. And this is the Robert Pattinson Batmobile hot toy vehicle. So they announced, or they teased it over a year ago. They just showed the back of the Batmobile. This is the first time to actually see the full car. And I believe the first time they teased this, it was more of a cleaner vehicle. Here it looks more weathered. So I hope they do sell this. So far they haven't announced anything, whether they're going to or not. But obviously they have it here and they're showing it to us for this DC Hot Toys showcase. We have Future DCU Warrior Life writes, do you know why they are making these new Batfleck figures, but that look nothing like him? Yeah, I'm not sure, because I've been reading and hearing things about possibly Warner Brothers or Hot Toys or both, that maybe they don't have the rights to Ben Affleck's likeness anymore, because he's not going to be. It seems like he's not going to be part of the Batman universe anymore, or the DC universe. So, I mean, I don't know why they would even announce anything if they don't have the rights for it, but that's a possibility. Or maybe they'll get the likeness later on, the rights for it. Or one theory was something that's going to get spoilery, and I'm not going to mention this here, but there is another theory regarding this question that you asked, a future DCU Warrior Life, but it's spoilery, so I can't really get into that right now. Especially since I already saw the movie, so it'll be kind of spoilery. All right, so going back here, so yeah, I want this. I definitely want this. I don't know how much this will cost. I don't even know if they're ever going to sell it. But if they ever do, I'm going to try to get this, because it looks pretty cool. And even the back of the vehicle lights up just like you saw in the movie, in the Pattinson movie. So obviously they showed Robert Pattinson here. I was going to say Pattinson. Robert Pattinson hot toy, they showed him again, and I mean, he's been out for a while. He's on pre-order. I mean, I don't like the Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne look. He looks kind of emo-ish to me, and I don't just mean because of the black under his eyes. I know that's a practical thing because he's Batman, and I get that. That's not what I mean. But I do want this too, because I do want a Batman hot toy. I kind of want to get a lot of them. We have here future DCU Warrior Life writes, yeah, because I have the Batfleck, Snyder, the Snyder version, right? The Justice League. McFarlane Fig and looks so much more accurate and better. Okay, yeah, because the hot toy for Justice League, Batman, Ben Affleck, that one looks. I mean, it looks like him. Even that one looks. It looks like him. So I don't know why they decided not to do the one for the Flash. Because like I said, maybe the rights were gone by the time the Flash came out or something. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe they'll present it later with the likeness. If they were to do that, if they were like later on, okay, here's a new head sculpt and they show Ben Affleck. Now, there's no head sculpt for this particular Batman figure. Let me go back to it since we're talking about it. If they were to like, here's a new head sculpt and we now have the rights of Ben Affleck likeness, and then they have, the his face or whatever, and it looks like Ben Affleck's right here. It doesn't. Then yeah, I'll be wanting to get that for sure, and I might still get this because I still really like it. So, all right, so that was the Ben Affleck one, and they just had this little image here again, the DC showcase. They had that. That looks pretty cool, and then they also started to show a lot of other DC hot toys or whatever the case might be. So we have let's see, where's the other one here? Oh, like they showed the Suicide Squad. Yeah, the Suicide Squad. So we have and then we have that Joker Batman or whatever it's called, and then we have King Shark Joker and Jared Leto Joker, and then Harley Quinn here from Suicide Squad. So they're just showing that in this DC showcase. These have been out for a while. I'm not sure about that Joker Batman though. I've never seen that one before. It looks kind of cool though. Let's see. And then they're showing the Tumbler, and then that's the Tumbler from The Dark Knight Rises, and then the Bat Cycle. That's Robert Pattinson's Bat Cycle. So they have that one. I believe they released that one, or at least they've announced that one. But they just haven't done the Pattinson Batmobile. And let's see. Oh, and then we have more of the Dark Knight. So they're showing a little bit of the Dark Knight hot toys. You see Bane, Tom Hardy. We have Catwoman, and then the one that they just announced like a couple months ago, the Armory with the Dark Knight Rises with Bruce Wayne. So that one's there. And then they showed a Keaton again. That's a Batman from the Flash film, which I'm also still probably getting because it looks really cool. But we'll see about that. Okay, so that was it for the DC Showcase stuff. So that was just the DC Showcase now. So I'm about to get into the non-spoiler review of The Flash. So like I mentioned earlier, I watched The Flash a few days ago. One of those pre-screening, advanced screenings. Now, I will mention this, that I have heard that maybe parts of the movie are not complete. So I don't know, maybe, because I do plan on watching it again next Thursday. So I'm going to watch it, so I'll compare it. But it looks like some of the CGI didn't look complete. I don't know if that's supposed to remain that way. Maybe they didn't have time for it or whatever. But I'll compare it to see if maybe we just got like an earlier cut of it for the advanced screenings, and they have a better version of it now that it's going to come out next week. So I'll let you guys know about that. So let's begin here. So we're going to do this non-spoiler review of The Flash. So again, no spoilers. I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers here because this movie hasn't come out yet. It'll come out on June 16th, or if you want to go and watch it on the Thursday night's screening there, previews. So let me just get my little notes here, and then we'll get started. Okay, so let's see here. So again, no spoilers, everyone. So there's no spoilers, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling anything for the Flash film. So here we go. So again, I'm not gonna get into like the issues with Ezra Miller. I mean, obviously there's some problems going on there. I'm not sure if they're gonna have him, if they're gonna have Ezra Miller come back as the Flash because of those issues. So with that aside, we'll just watch the movie as it is, and then that's it. That's really the way that we can move forward here. I mean, if you have issues with the whole Miller thing, then I mean, that's up to you. If you don't want to watch that or not. But that was the only thing I wanted to say about that. So let's get into some of those positive things here. Okay. So again, here, so Ezra Miller was able to carry this movie, and I was surprised because I didn't think he would. I didn't think he would be able to carry this film. Uh, he was in obviously in the Justice League movie. They introduced him there, or they introduced them there, and I didn't dislike Ezra Miller as the Flash in Justice League. I thought he was fine. He had little quirky, funny moments there, and he was perfectly fine. I never had really any big issues with Ezra Miller, and that was obviously before the personal issues. But I still didn't think that they were actually going to have Ezra Miller play the Flash in their own solo movie. So after watching the movie, yes, Ezra Miller can carry this movie. There's a lot of good scenes with them, and let me see here. There's because there's positive elements and negative elements to Ezra Miller's performance. That has something to do with the way the character was written, because we have one Barry Allen that's very different than another Barry Allen. Now you've seen this in the trailer, so I'm not necessarily spoiling that there. So we have here, he was able to carry this film as the lead, and again, as mentioned, I wasn't sure he was going to be able to actually pull this off. And the reason why I say this is because his performance in the film portraying two Barry Allens, as you have seen in the trailers, the characters were different, and so much so that, well, one variation of Barry Allen leads the film, making it a positive element of the film. The other portrayal of Barry Allen was obnoxious, and it was ultimately a negative component or element of the film. And I'll get into that later when it comes to the negative sections, or the negative sections of this non-spoiler review of The Flash. But again, this is despite the fact that the other Barry Allen's annoyance was by design. So I know that the character was supposed to be this way because obviously we see Ezra Miller portray a different kind of character as the main Barry Allen and so forth. Okay, so the next positive elements, the next positive component to this is, of course, Batman, Batman, Batman. All the Batman in this film. Again, if you're a big Batman fan, you're definitely going to like this. So this film has a lot of awesome Batman sequences, both Keaton and Affleck. Because at one point I was like, okay, well, we could expect Michael Keaton to, do a very good, very good scenes, because we haven't seen Michael Keaton in a while. So that will be the draw, obviously, right? So Michael Keaton, seeing him again as Batman, that will be the draw. And I'm assuming they were going to have to, show a lot of cool sequences with Keaton. And you've seen him in the trailer, that there's a lot of sequences that he looks like a badass and everything, right? So that was expected, and yes, it definitely did not disappoint. But the Ben Affleck scene as well, the Batman Ben Affleck that we see in the film, that was pretty awesome too. And I think it probably liked it a little more, and I think that Bat Cycle had a lot to do with it. But let's see here. So there are also cool sequences with Bruce Wayne, with Keaton stealing the spotlight many, many times. There's a particular action sequence with the Ben Affleck Batman riding his Bat Cycle in this film that is just awesome. It really is awesome. And I just don't want to get into spoilers or anything. And then you can see a glimpse of that scene in the trailer. But I also like it so much that I'm really considering getting that Hot Toys Affleck Batman Batcycle set, even though I have issues with the likeness of the figure, which is something I mentioned earlier. So that scene, the scenes that we see Ben Affleck as Batman and The Flash, really makes me want to get that Hot Toy figure, which I mentioned earlier. And then I obviously check out the Batman Affleck Hot Toy segment on my channel about my thoughts on that particular figure. I go into details about that one. And then we have, if you're a huge Batman fan like myself, you will love those sequences, and ultimately added so much to my enjoyment of this film. And I think a lot of you guys will like this, especially if you're a big Batman fan. Okay, so that was, again, going back to the Ben Affleck. So that's the scene that I'm referring to. Now I'm not gonna mention how many sequences are there or scenes with Batman, Batfleck, but because that'll be kind of spoilery. But this is the one that I was referring to. Another positive thing here, and I don't know why this is not showing the image. The actress' name is Sasha Calle or Kaye, who portrays Supergirl. So she was pretty badass in the film, and her outfit was very cool. She has some great sequences herself in the film, and I kind of don't want to get into those details again because we're getting to spoilery territory. But she has a lot of cool scenes here, and that was one positive component, one positive element here. Okay, so I think we're gonna get into. Oh, actually, there's just one more thing here that is part of the positives. So some of the humor did hit. There's also some that didn't, but some of it did hit. So that'll be a positive there. It's really up to you what you find funny. If you didn't like most of the humor from Ezra Miller and Justice League, then you probably won't find it that funny. But there were some legitimate ones that I did find funny. So I'll give you that. Okay, so we're going into the negatives. So I mentioned earlier that Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, as the lead Barry Allen, the main one, was really good in the movie. So I did like Miller there. But there's also the other Barry Allen, so also portrayed by Ezra Miller. And as I mentioned earlier, the character is obnoxious, and he even mentions this within the film. So the character himself says that, no, I'm obnoxious, something like that. And he definitely can be in the movie. But the character is vital to the story of this film, so I get it. But yes, it has its moments and just didn't hit with me when it comes to that other Barry Allen. And you've seen parts of this Barry Allen in the trailer. So yeah, sometimes it's a little too over the top. So it just really depends on what you feel, your thoughts on that. So that's a negative of the Flash non-spoiler review here. And again, I mentioned earlier the humor, sometimes it just really didn't hit. It just really, it wasn't really funny. Some parts were, but there were a lot of them that were not. Okay, so this is probably going to be like the main issue with this movie. Now, it's really hard to say because there's one particular sequence in The Flash that the CGI is just really, really bad. And I don't know if, as I mentioned earlier as well, that I don't know if it's because they were not done with this particular sequence and they just had it ready for advanced screenings to get the word out there, the good word of mouth. And they were just not done with this CGI because that sequence that I'm thinking of is really, really bad. It really looks incomplete. So hopefully maybe they did fix it. And then when we actually see the movie, when it comes out next week, maybe it's done. But I'm very curious to see what it's going to look like because I'm going to see it again. Let me just say this here. So I'm just going to read what I wrote, the notes that I wrote about this. So while there are some very good-looking CGI sequences in this movie, there are some scenes that are atrocious. There's a particular sequence that looked embarrassingly bad. Almost like the mustache fiasco with Henry Cavill in Justice League. It was kind of that bad. I don't know if the version we got at the advanced screenings had that sequence without it being complete. But if not, they definitely need to find a better visual effects company for future projects. Now, during the credits, I did notice that this film used multiple visual effects companies, as I'm sure is common in most movies. But this is the first time that I actually noticed that there were so many of them. So when I was watching the end credits, they kept showing like visual effects companies, and there was like several of them. This is the first time that I've actually noticed, because a lot of those comic book movies, they're heavy with CGI, and we end up watching the credits because there's usually a post credit scene, and I never really noticed that this movie had a lot of them, and there's a lot of visual effects in this movie, obviously, so there would be a lot of them. We have Matthew, who is normally part of this, said, "Yeah, that's what I had heard. The last 30 minutes CGI cluster heck." Okay, cluster heck. Okay. Okay, but there is yeah, because it's gonna get into spoilery stuff. Um, there's some stuff going on in the third act. Now, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but I think it's supposed to be that way. The CGI is supposed to look a certain way, and when you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because right now, I really can't get into it because I'm gonna spoil stuff. But it looks like it's supposed to look that way when it comes to something regarding the third act. So I'm not really referring to that, and I think there's a specific reason that they went this route when it comes to the presentation of these particular sequences. Without getting into spoilers, and when you see the movie, you know what I mean. So I'm not even referring to that. I'm just mainly referring to this one pretty significant big sequence in the movie that the CGI was very, very poor, like very, very bad. Future DCU Warrior Life says someone said they were making the FX intentionally like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The sequence that I'm talking about in the third act, it's very CGI like, very CGI, very fake looking. But I think it's supposed to be that way because, again, without me getting into spoilers, it's kind of supposed to look like that. And that's not even what I'm referring to when it comes to the bad CGI. I think it is supposed to look like that. And if I end up doing a spoiler review of this, then I'll address that. So there's that. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to mention here. So overall, when it comes to this film, The Flash, it was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Like I mentioned earlier, Batman is my favorite, not just favorite comic book character, but I think it's my favorite character overall in general. So I was very excited to see, not just one Batman, but two Batmans or whatever the case. So I really, really like the film. So I'll give you an overall here. So overall, the Flash film was a lot of fun, which it really was. I am watching it again on opening night because I want to see this movie again in a crowded theater again. There are several cool moments in the film that I want to watch again, and I want to watch again with a crowded theater. So that's why I'm definitely want to watch this again. Like right as soon as it comes out, basically, because I already had tickets for The Flash for June 15th, that Thursday preview, before I got the the advanced screening tickets. So I already had those tickets. So I'm gonna keep them, and I'm gonna go and watch it again. So that was The Flash, again, the non-spoiler review, and so The Flash is a see it grade A minus. It's definitely higher than some of the other DCU movies that I've seen, right? So, Batman vs Superman, Justice League, both versions of this Justice League weren't this high, in my opinion. And a lot of people like the Snyder version, which is better than the first cut of Justice League. But I really did like The Flash, grade A minus. See it. The movie canon has the 3 S's system. So see it, stream it, or skip it. Excuse me. So The Flash is a see it. We have another comment here from future DCU Warrior Life. It says, "Yep, I have for the 15th and 16th. Also, you have tickets for both. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna watch that twice, within like 24 hours or so. So yes, I'll be watching this again on the 15th. That is the plan. And let me see if there's anything else regarding The Flash. So let me know, guys, when you watch this movie, which is coming out next week. Let me know what are your thoughts on this film. Did you like it as much as I did? Maybe you hated it. Maybe there was a lot of things with Ezra Miller that you just didn't like. The parts that I talked about when it comes to the other Barry Allen, maybe that was a deal breaker to you. Maybe you were just not gonna, you just weren't gonna like this movie because of that other Barry Allen, or just Ezra Miller alone. Maybe you're not a big Batman fan. Maybe the CGI is really that bad. And when I see the new movie on the second time, maybe the CGI is still there. Maybe it's still the same, and that is the actual final project, the final entry or whatever of the Flash. But overall, I still really enjoyed the movie. Definitely watched this movie with a crowded theater, especially like the first couple of days of it coming out, like the way I'm planning on doing. So there you go. So that was my non-spoiler review of The Flash. Now let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Okay, so I think we're gonna get into the new giveaway stuff. Okay, so when it comes to the giveaway, I already mentioned earlier that there's the where is it here? The Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a giveaway that I already mentioned or announced, right? So there's a new one that I'm about to announce right now. I'm not going to announce a winner, today, because I'm just announcing it. So there's some instructions as to how you enter a giveaway. Depends on the type of giveaway. Some of them have a higher number of minimum entries, because all these need a minimum number of entries, because I need to have a higher number of minimum entries for the giveaways that I do, because if only 2 people are interested, so it comes down to just only 2 people. But if most people are not interested in the giveaway, I'm not gonna actually move forward with that giveaway. That hasn't been the case lately. It's been a while since I haven't had the minimum entries for a giveaway, but this is the new one here. So it is another Funko giveaway. This is from The Flash. So this is the Batman Ben Affleck a Funko a pop giveaway. Now, I'm not giving both to one person. I am choosing one subscriber from the movie canon, or if you're an Instagram follower. So I'll be giving this away. Minimum entries, I believe for the Funkos, I think it's like 30, which I haven't had an issue getting that. So 30, and must have a mailing address within the United States. I'll post this officially on my Instagram page so that you can officially enter. So if you watch this live, so far the only people that I've seen here that's actually, commented, and I could see that they were watching this live, is future DCU Warrior Life. So your name will be entered twice if you're a subscriber to the Movie Canon YouTube channel, or you're an Instagram follow. So if you're still those things, then your name has been entered twice. And then obviously when you actually officially enter, that'll be another one for you, because I haven't actually opened this yet. I've announced it, but I haven't actually opened it yet. So if you follow the instructions and comment again there in the post, then you'll have 3 names entered, or 3 of your names entered for this particular giveaway. And I announce the winner usually after a few weeks or so, probably closer to the end of the month, just like the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Funko giveaway. So there you go here. So just keep an eye out on Instagram. Today or tomorrow, I'll be posting this giveaway. Once I get the minimum entries, then I'll actually activate it, and then I'll actually give it to someone. So that was it there, everyone. So thank you so much for watching this new episode of the Met Reports. It was very DC dominated, like I mentioned. A lot of DC stuff going on with the Hot Toys, with the Flash non-spoiler review, with the giveaway. Everything is very DC. Future DCU Warrior Life says, okay, yeah, I'm a subscriber on here and Insta. I am a follower and subscriber. Okay, that's great. Thanks so much. So again, once I post it, then you go ahead and follow the instructions. But so far, your name is entered twice. So far. So thanks so much, everyone. Again, write in the comments what your thoughts, if you watched this on, the Flash non-spoiler review of, if you see it later on or whatever, or maybe you already saw it in a pre-screening, let me know your thoughts on there. Obviously, try not to add any spoilers in there, but but just let me know your thoughts or the hot toy segment that I talked about earlier. So, right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this live, or if you watched it after the fact or on one of the segments that I'm going to cut out later on so you can watch. Again, the Funko giveaways are the Batman potential Barry Allen Flash, and then the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So that one is still open. So you're still trying to get that one. It is still open. I'm trying to find the graphic. This one right here, and then the one that I just announced, the Batman and the Flash from the Flash film. So those are the two that are open right now. All right, so thank you, everyone. That'll conclude today's Met Report episode, and I'll see you guys next time.